I'm William Clark.
And I'm Meriwether Lewis.
And we're sisters. Today on the Sister Cast, we are doing things. So first, I just want to ask you a little question about an update. How are your dreams? Any more teeth falling out?
No, actually.
Well, that's good. That's good. That's good. I have not had dreams about teeth falling out either, so that's good.
That's always a good thing.
Yeah. So these are our journals, or whatever you want to call them.
I have a few.
Janie has a lot because she's better than me. I mean, Meriwether Lewis has a lot more than me. We're going to be reading some of our most intimate stories for your entertainment. This was my idea. Janie's a little begrudging about it. I mean, Meriwether.
We don't even know our names anymore.
We don't know who we are. So I did not prepare for this as usual. I just told her to be prepared, and
I also did not prepare.
she did not prepare either. But we're just going to jump right in. Let's start with the very first entry. Actually, I was thinking about this the other day. Okay. So I made this journal at a youth church activity. I have the paper, the composition notebook, we have the paper, there's a horse sticker, some cats, my name. This is not a C, I don't think.
It might be a J. Oh, I didn't even realize that's where you printed it out.
It might be a sideways J.
That's funny.
No, because it would be a backwards J.
Oh.
We're looking at it reversed.
Maybe it is a C.
Yeah, maybe it is a C. It's just weird. But there's some cats and some horses, some cool tape, zebra stripes. We love that. Yes, anyway, the first entry I wrote, because I thought I'm going to be a person who keeps a journal. It's very good. It's very encouraged by our church to keep a journal. And I was so lazy. Let me just tell you. Okay, it says July 31st, 2016. Okay?
Wow.
That was a long time ago. I was like, I just turned, what? Do the math, Jane. 12. I just turned 12. So that was 8 years ago. Almost 8 years ago. You can tell I did not write every day after that. As a matter of fact, it's still empty in some pages. That page was not, in fact, empty. That was a terrible example. It says, today I learned this cool quote in church from Alice in Wonderland, because now Alice in Wonderland is church verbatim. And it says, I quoted it. I was too lazy to look up the actual quote. There were no handouts. And so I just guessed what it was.
That's amazing.
It says, would you tell me which way I ought to go from here? Alice asks. That depends a good deal on where you want to get to, the cat says. I don't much care where, Alice replies. Then it doesn't really matter which way you go, and the cat vanishes. I think that's how that goes.
Pretty close.
It's close enough. And I said, pretty good quote. Huh? Yeah, not a direct quote. Thank you. It's like, if you don't care where you go, then it doesn't matter where you go. So, I mean, it's true. This is some good... Oh. Okay. There's more to this. I'm reading right now. It says, today I've made a jewelry box out of an old cigar box. It used to look so ugly, and it smelled nasty. But now it's beautiful and smells of paint. The reason I had to make a jewelry box was that I kept getting jewelry for my birthday. Wow. No. And then I described each necklace and then drew a beautiful picture of what I got.
Oh, yes.
You could tell I'm an artist. No, yeah, so that is the very, very first one. And every single time I go back and read it, I die a little inside. Just a little bit.
Soul's evaporating as we speak.
Yeah, you could tell because I kind of stalled a little bit before I read the quote I made up.
Pretty close,
like
though.
different versions of the Bible. This is the Lucy Bauer version of Alice in Wonderland. Okay, Janie, you got one?
Okay, I'm gonna do my first journal entry in this book as well. This is August 30th, 2019. It was a Friday. That's very important to note. And I said, "Oh my goodness, I love it when that boy smiles. It drives me nuts. I want to talk to him, but he probably just thinks that I'm weird. He's looked at me a few times before, but I doubt he even knows my name. It's like how I don't know his name."
Wow.
Arg! I need to know his name.
Did you write Arg?
Yes, I did.
That's beautiful.
I'm going to go insane if I don't find out. For now, I am completely mentally stable. I retain my sanity. I'm just in love.
Sure. She was in a little bit of denial. I remember this.
Yeah.
I was there during that.
Yeah.
Let's go. Okay. Let's see. Oh, here we go. So again, I was brand new into our youth group in church. We went on a lake house trip. This is a beautiful story about that. August 12th, 2016. Okay, it says, I had lunch and we took a turn on the boat. Now, there were activities to do like water skiing, knee boarding, and tubing. We took turns, the group that is, and choosing and writing certain things. Well, I chose the knee board, and I kept wiping out badly, which was embarrassing. I didn't write, which was embarrassing. I'm just stating facts right now. At first, I had to learn how to stay on the darn thing, and second, then I had to remember what to do, and what to do was lay on it. This was a step-by-step instruction. Okay, lay on it and use your tummy to balance it, and then when the boat starts to accelerate, the nose will tip up, the nose of the knee board, because that was a little unclear. And you have to scoot your knees on the knee pads, change of pen real quick, and then you slowly get up and go on, but it didn't work like that for me. I would do all the steps, but the last, when I would try to get up, I would wipe out. One time, I got the nose underwater, I remember this was extremely embarrassing because I was specifically told if the nose goes under the water, you're dead. And it wasn't said like that. It was just like, don't do that. It's bad. And and I was dragged down I was dragged down because I flipped over. It was so great. I don't know what was wrong with me. And I was dragged down, so I let go, which they also told you not to do. And so I let go. Anyway, and then it was all like, oh yeah, I got sunburned even though I put on sunscreen. And there were parts that I missed, which were my shoulders, under my eyes, and one spot on my knee. Oh no. The worst part is my friend Rebecca. My friend Samantha at the time was so good at this knee boarding thing, like she'd done it her whole life. And so when she did it first, I thought, I'm going to do this as well. And I'm going to be so good, just like Samantha. And I was not. As you can tell, I was scarred for life with the nose going under the water and being dragged down. I can only explain it in my memory as being dragged by this force of nature, the nasty green lake water that tasted sweet for some reason. Good times. Okay, Janie, you have something.
Oh man, I haven't read these in forever. Okay. This one is called Grandma's Return. not inspired by a true story.
It's a poem.
Yes. I wrote it March 19th, 2020. I had a lot of free time. Okay. When Grandma had a heart attack, I never thought she would come back. But one night I heard a noise that sounded like her throaty voice. Gran, I whispered, feeling chilly, for this whole thing was rather silly. I looked around and thought I saw the piercing gaze of my grandma.
Oh, I remember this.
She stared at me. Her eyes were glowing. Outside, the wind was softly blowing. The room was still, and then she spoke. She called to me in her signature croak. You never said goodbye, you see, though my death came unexpectedly. I listened and my trembling ceased. I thought for a moment, then I sneezed.
What a plot twist!
I love you, Gran, I said to her. Let me tell you what you were. You were happy, brave, and silly, and you loved to smell the lilies. I loved your smile and your eyes. When I was young, you calmed my cries. I loved to listen to you sing in the winter and the spring. Perhaps, maybe, above all else, your house was filled with delightful smells. This isn't as funny as I was expecting it to be. You baked, you sang, you loved to draw, and what I love is that you're my grandma.
Aww.
Grandma sniffed and sighed and then smiled at me all over again. Goodbye, she whispered back to me. Goodbye, my kind, wise, sweet granny. The meter's a little awkward on that one. I watched as she then departed, leaving me almost broken-hearted, but surely that was not the end of the visits with my elderly friend.
Aw, see, it started out funny, and then it was sweet.
I have another one called the Brazilian Diner.
Ooh.
Although, if you want to go first, you can.
Yeah, I'll do another one.
Okay, go
this is like this is gonna be multiple entries real quick because this is it. One line. It says October 20th, 2017. Hello. The months go by so fast, and I spelled by wrong.
Spelled by wrong.
This is a bookmark I made about warrior cats, if you remember, from last episode. Okay, the next entry, let's see if we get to add a little bit more interesting things here. Nope. This is 4 days later, October 24th, 2017. I am always annoyed with someone these days. It's either one stupid boy or another. I swear I wish I could... And the pen ran out of ink, and I gave up. Apparently,
the last straw.
Apparently my rant was not allowed. Again, more warrior cat art. And by art, I mean whatever that is.
It's very great poetry. This one's called The Brazilian Diner. And it was written March 19th, 2020. It was a poetic day for me, apparently. Once while dining in Brazil, I spotted a dirty landfill. My eyes were wet, my nose hairs stung, just as my dinner had begun. I called for my waiter, who said he'd come later, but later was far too late for me. My ears were ringing, voices were singing, and I saw my very life flash before my very eyes. The smell from the dump surely gave me a lump in the back of my throat. I thought I saw an angel float.
Oh.
I don't know what that means.
It rhymes.
I fell upon the floor and remembered what I'd done before. I came here on this dreaded day in the dreaded month of May. My eyes were closed, my heart was stopped. I undertook a dead man's pose.
Oh.
I said my silent goodbyes, and there I would lie on the very day that I died.
Oh. So this Brazilian diner was not a 5-star.
It was right next to the landfill, man.
Oh, yeah.
Bad for business.
Yeah, that is pretty bad for business. Was the food good, though?
Not good enough to keep him from dying, I guess.
Fair point. Fair point. Now, this entry in my life is quite the turning point for me. And by turning point, I mean new obsession discovered, okay? This is May 18th, 2019, okay? Says, I added another band to my favorite bands, which I had a trinity of bands. It says, originally, my favorite bands were Volbeat. Shout out to people who know who Volbeat is. My bad. I have a poster of them right there. That's why I looked up. They're not in heaven. I looked at my poster. Evanescence, forgive me, world, that I love Evanescence. Come at me. Janie used to hate Evanescence. She used to be mean to me.
Yes.
You have any words to say about that, Janie?
No comment.
Thank you. Okay. And no doubt, you know, I'm just a girl in the world. And then I said, but now they're Volbeat. I had to make sure the order was correct. Volbeat, Green Day, Evanescence, and No Doubt, okay? I got my favorite Green Day album at Entertain Mart. Shout out to people who know where Entertain Mart is. Just all the shout outs, okay? Entertain Mart's my favorite store. Okay. It's 21st Century Breakdown. That's the name of the album. Highly recommend. And then it says, my dad dug out his old Discman, and I've totally globbed onto it. Shout out to people who had Discmans. Okay. It is one of the greatest inventions ever.
It is, though.
Forget, yes, thank you, Janie. A portable CD player. If you can't tell, I don't know, we have this weird thing. You see that? Okay, let me put my finger. This shelf, right there, right where my finger is, those are my CD cases. And then behind that are my movies of Johnny Depp, exclusively. Anyway, where were we? Oh, yeah, so, my favorite song, oh, yeah, I also got a new Evanescence album called The Open Door. I've been listening to it in the Discman, in my bed. My favorite song on it right now is Snow White Queen.
That's my favorite song.
That's Janie's favorite Evanescence song. Okay. And, yeah, and I have some little Green Day art with some lyrics. This song right here with the American Idiot symbol, it says, it's Give Me Novocaine by Green Day, which is one of my favorite Green Day songs. It says, no, we won't read it, but it's Give Me Novocaine, and which is like, it's about wanting to be numb. Anyway, it's part of a whole story, but I decided, in case anyone was reading this, disclaimer, I don't do drugs. Just in case people would be worried. And then, me going back and reading it, I rudely put dork next to me saying that. So, yeah. Anyway, but that was an interesting time in my life. The discovery of Green Day and their extensive discography. I was looking for that word. Okay, go ahead, Janie.
Okay, this one is kind of like a whole story, like a few pages.
All right, go.
It's called Adulting Part 1.
Adulting? How old are you?
It was written 2 days after I turned 18.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So, this is March 12th, 2024. Guess who has her license? Not me! Exclamation point.
I remember this. This was very recent, but
Yeah.
go ahead.
It's okay. I don't like driving anyway. Which is true. Okay, so here's the thing. They said I could take my driving tests on last Friday, the 8th, without having to renew my license 2 days later if I passed. But that's a whole process, and it costs even more monies. Actually, I just wrote $. Considering my car is already costing me like $3,000 to fix, because it broke down at my school.
That's unfortunate.
Rude. And I just spent $60 on clothes last week because I have a problem, in parentheses. So we came back yesterday to the DPS and took my test, and everything was fine. Skipping all the details in parentheses. Okay. I was far from the curb when I parallel parked, but I can live with that, considering I'm never going to do that in my real life anyway.
You only have to be a foot away from the curb. Within.
I was further away than that, but it wouldn't have disqualified me, she told me.
Oh, okay, cool. Good to know.
But I got the nice one.
Oh, you got the nice lady.
Yeah.
Oh. Well, when I parallel parked for my driving test, I did not signal, which was unfortunate.
Yeah. I was doing great. I was even going to, because I knew I was far away from the curb, I was going to, fix it, but I was like, I don't want to risk that and risk, hitting anything. So I was like, I was like about to change, and I was like, no, you know what? This is good enough. I know I'm between the poles.
Do you talk about your second driver's test in this too? Okay.
Yeah. So I did great at turning and stopping and everything, but then on the way back to the DPS, I turned left, thinking to myself, you know, closest lane, closest lane. And
As
so
one
I
does.
turned into the closest lane, as in the lane for the cars going the opposite direction.
Oops.
There was
Left turns.
Yeah.
We forgot about that.
There was no one coming though, so I just continued on for like 2 seconds. Then she was calmly all like pointing to the right, and I was all like, "Oh right, I gotta switch lanes." So I switched lanes, but I was still on the wrong side of the road. And then she was all like, and I was like, "Huh?" And I was like, "Oh," and that's the moment I knew.
Oh, that's so sad.
I did everything great up till that point. So embarrassing. I didn't cry. I'm actually kind of impressed.
Oh yeah, good job, Janie.
Have my test written right here.
Oh yeah. Oh, she gave you a copy?
Yeah.
Your observation.
Control. I don't know about that.
Your observation.
Everything
terrible.
was off. I did signal though when I turned left.
You signaled.
I signaled, but everything else was off. Control, observation, and position.
It was all like, your observation was a little off. Oh, that's so sad. The thing is, you're extra nervous when you take your driver's test.
Yeah.
Driving test? Is it driver's test or driving test?
Either way.
Yeah, so you're nervous, and so when you're nervous and driving, I should know, you make bad decisions. Go ahead.
Like, I'm still kind of scared. Like, randomly I'll be driving and I'm all like, am I in the wrong lane?
Oh
But then I'm
gosh,
not.
yeah.
I'm not. So I'm all
Right.
like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't know why I did that. I'd never done that before.
Right, yeah.
It's...
Well,
I meant to get my license that day, apparently.
Yeah, I guess so.
So, okay, yeah, so after that, same day, I paid $180 to take the test at a different place, at the driving school, and I wrote, it was a very not fun time, because the guy made me so nervous. And when we were supposed to when we were supposed to parallel park first, which I knew, but I shut my sweater in the car door, so I had to pull over to fix it, and he was all like, keep going, we'll do parallel parking last. I was like, okay. It's like, because we started driving and I realized my sweater was in the car door and I'm like, oh,
Me?
I fixed it right now, we're in the middle of the road.
I always, like, it'll be cold maybe in the morning, or I'll be cold, and so then I tie my jacket around my waist, and then when I go to drive home, I always shut my sweater in the car door and drive home that way. It wasn't inhibiting my range of motion,
Right.
which means I couldn't tell until I opened my door. It was creased.
I just noticed, so it was going to be distracting me. And I was all,
Yeah.
I asked him too. I was all like, my sweater's stuck in the car door. Can I fix it? He didn't say anything. So I was like, okay.
What a dum-dum.
No, I don't know. It was interesting.
We're not going to name drop this place because I said that.
Yeah. So he was probably annoyed at me when I said that's not really fair.
Yeah.
Anyway, I was much more nervous when he was in the car than when I was doing my test at the DPS.
Which is saying something.
Yeah. And because my car, remember I mentioned I was paying $3,000 to fix my car. My car was still out of commission during the time I was taking this test, so I was borrowing our neighbor's car for the test. When I parallel parked, I hit the back pole in somebody else's car. I'm an idiot. That's what
I
wrote.
would have just died right there. Worst day of my life.
It was not fun.
Yeah.
I wasn't even feeling well that day either. I was kind of like sick.
Oh. Well, maybe that's why
It's
you weren't
like-
doing very well.
Yeah, that's the reason.
I think I remember Mom saying something about that. Anyway, go ahead.
Okay, so yeah, for the rest of the test, so I said, then he was all like, we're gonna make a U-turn to turn around and go back. But I guess I was doing it wrong, because I had no clue what he was saying when he was telling me what to do. So he was all like, we'll just go straight. And he was all like, annoyed.
Of course.
But like, come on.
Yeah, for real.
Yes, I'm a failure. Will talking to me like I'm an idiot make me feel better?
No.
Most definitely. Keep it up, jerk, is what.
Yeah.
It's a little rude. Anyway.
Hey, you gotta do what you gotta do to cope.
Yeah. I mean, that was not my best performance, I must admit. We were driving back, and he was semi-aggressively pointing out how I drive hard, which is grammatically incorrect, but I wasn't about to tell him that.
just eviscerate this guy. Is that the right word?
Yeah. I don't know.
We make up words here. Meriwether Lewis and William Clark.
Yeah, I almost forgot your first name. I was like, Clark?
You can just call me Clark.
But then it made me more nervous because we were still driving when he was telling me all this. Oh yeah, because he was telling me the results of my test as we were driving back to the place, and I'm all like, okay, I've already screwed up.
Now's not a good time. Yeah, that would be a bad time. If you're driving back and he's like, yeah, you failed.
Like,
Thank
this
you.
is so uncomfortable. I just want to go home and cry. But,
Aw.
and I had already hit the pole, so because we did the parallel parking at the end, I'm like, this was a waste of money and time, and he was mean to me. And
you weren't sick. You were sick.
Yeah, it's like, this is embarrassing. But, yeah. I passed.
I
with
remember
a 77.
I had called my mother, and I remember she was, of course, with you at the thing. We hang up. She's like, "Oh, they're back from the test," and I was like, "Okay, cool." And so she puts the phone back in her bag, and then I get an immediate call back, and I'm like, "Oh gosh, did she fail?" And she purse dialed me, my mother, and I was being nosy, and I could hear her talking to the guy, the instructor, and he sounded like a real nice person. And he was like talking about all the things she did. Then he said something, and Mom was like, oh, "You did? No!" And I was like, "Oh, she failed."
Parking.
I was being nosy, and I was sitting in my car. I was sitting in the bathroom, actually. And I was like, oh, "She failed." And then I was all like, "Oh no!" Anyway, I ended up hanging up. He was talking about something about your turns were weird.
Your turns were weird? Well, maybe they were. I don't know. I don't remember.
And then I hung up, and I think he was all like, "Yeah, she needs to loosen up a little bit."
He did tell me that, but he made me nervous.
Yeah, well, yeah. What does he know? He's driven with you once.
He's just a driving instructor.
Yeah, what does he know? And so then I hung up because I got nervous, and then they came home and they were like, "She passed," and I was like, not gonna lie.
I did not feel worthy because I thought I was gonna fail because he was telling me all the things I did wrong, and I'm all like, okay, I have to drive back and I have to listen to him tell my mom everything I did wrong.
Yeah. What a great day in the history of Janie.
But I mentioned here, I was all like, bruh. I hit the pole and I wasn't even worried about not being able to get my license because first I was all like, oh crap, this isn't my car.
That was the first thought, which would have been mine as well.
And then I thought I spent $180 to run into a pole and have this guy talk to me like I'm dumb.
I love that for you. Let's go egg the place. We're not gonna do that. We would never.
But I don't know. He was all like, "Don't wear your Doc Martens, 'cause then you drive too hard." And I was all like, "I always drive in these shoes. I don't think normally I don't drive that hard." I don't know. It was an off day for me.
He was just judging you. He was jealous. He wanted your shoes.
He wanted my shoes.
He was all like, no, he probably did think she was crazy.
Yeah, probably did.
Yeah, that was a sad day.
Yeah.
Sad day. But hey, we can laugh about it now. About his stupidness.
Yeah. He still passed me. Even though I thought I was supposed to fail, but
yeah, that was questionable as well. Nothing against you, Janie, because I love you. But I was questioning, like, she passed?
Me too. I was like, do I?
Also, the car, it didn't have much damage.
Oh no. Yeah, the car was fine. I was super worried about it though.
You're going like 0 miles an hour, right? When you're backing up, you don't accelerate like me, crazy person.
Yeah. There was like a faint crunch. I remember backing up and there was like a faint crunch and I was all like, oh my gosh. And then he was all like, can't hit the pole. You know, he gets his pen, he's like writing, and I'm all like,
Did he freaking say that?
yes. And I was all like,
That's rude.
yeah. And then when he was telling my mother,
As if you
he was
don't
all
know
like,
you're not supposed to hit the pole.
yeah. It's like, I don't know. I had never hit the pole before. All the times that I had practiced, all the hours I spent.
This girl practiced. You know what I did when I practiced for my driving test?
You passed on the first try, though, so.
Okay, fair. I did. I did not like to practice driving, and I passed. I'm gonna say it was the magic of the Honda Accord Cross Tour. Good car.
Definitely.
Recipes. Sis.
You went there.
We'll have to tell that story sometime.
I remember he was telling, cause like it was like a quiet noise. Like I could tell like I hit it, but I didn't think it was gonna be like that bad.
Or like
Yeah.
it was like a.
Yeah, it sounded like it could have done damage, but like he was telling my mom, because like he was all like, we hit the pole, right? And then mom was like, did you hit it hard? And I was like, I wasn't going to say anything, because if I were to say something, how it actually sounded to me, he would have been all like, she's making things up, you know? And so he was all like, yeah, she hit it hard. And I was like, I didn't think it was that hard. But
She
I don't know,
hit
maybe
it
it was.
hard.
Maybe I'm crazy.
The car didn't even. It had you. If you would have
Some of the
to,
paint got off on it. But I think you could just brush it away and you wouldn't see anything.
Yeah,
So
we confessed to the neighbors.
Oh yeah.
And they aren't just any old neighbors. We're friends with them,
Yeah.
so they didn't hang you out to dry for it.
Which I appreciate.
Yeah, and it wasn't awful like we said. It you couldn't tell. You would have to get a magnifying glass and be like,
Yeah.
Kelly Blue Book in it or something. Like
Every time I walk over to their house, I like look at the car and
you just like,
can you see it? But I can't normally.
I would come home from work and I went around the car just so I could see. And I couldn't find it.
Yeah.
Sometimes sidebar, sometimes when I'm at work, I park in a parking garage because I work at the hospital. And sometimes I'm pulling forward and there's, a wall because I'm on the third floor level. And there's a wall there, of course, so I don't fall off.
Mm-hmm.
But sometimes I'll just kiss that wall just a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And since I'm going like nothing an hour,
Right.
it's like I'm doing nothing. It's just like tap. You can't see anything, but it's still like, oh, I touched the wall with my vehicle. We are okay drivers. I'm better than Janie, but that's because I have more experience. Janie,
I don't know.
she's like, you tell me all these things. Yeah, Janie is a lot more cautious. She's good, but she also is a little stressed, which is understandable because driving sucks.
I'm alert.
She's alert. I was
Maybe a
a
little
I was a
stressed. I don't
pizza
like
delivery
driving.
driver for 5 months, and I credit most of my driving experience to that. But it also makes me kind of a tad bit not good at driving. So anyway, a whole other story. But I think we have a little bit more time. So this entry, March 13th, 2020. Who can guess what this is going to be about? 1 point to every person who guessed it. Okay, let's read it. Okay, it says, so it's spring break. Originally I didn't have any plans, I was just going to celebrate Janie's birthday and watch Stranger Things. How I got into Stranger Things is an entirely different story. Anyways, I am now one of the Stranger Things fans. I've been a little ashamed. Okay, something you have to know about us, the oldest, all of the Bauer girls, we are ashamed to like things that the world likes. You can tell with our haughty-taughty Discmans are the best thing that was ever invented. Leave us alone.
We're reluctant. We're only ashamed if we fall into the trap.
Right, only ashamed, and then we become ashamed that we're not ashamed about it.
Yeah.
Because I immediately become obsessed.
Yes,
which is unfortunate with everything I love. I cannot just like something. It becomes an obsession. Hence, almost all of Johnny Depp's acting work on my bookshelf. behind me. I also have a poster of Johnny Depp. He is not dead, as far as I am aware. It's a puzzle my grandmother put together and glued onto a poster board. And it is a poster of Johnny.
That's actually kind of beautiful.
It is beautiful. She put glitter glue over it, so it's got
that was her doing.
Yeah, she put glitter on it too.
Oh.
She also loves Johnny Depp, so that works out. I mean, Johnny Depp is like the same age as her, so
Yeah.
I think he's younger than her. Is he? Or older than
I
her?
don't know. How old is Johnny Depp?
I used to know.
Okay.
Anyway, that was a tangent. Anyway, and I said, I was like, since everyone seems to like it, oh well, smiley face. Anyway, so Janie and I have an ant infestation in our room.
Yeah.
This was at our old house, and we had shag carpet in there, which is awful for an ant infestation. We had no idea where they were coming from. We have done everything except, like, fogging the room with cancerous PFAS chemicals. Google PFAS. To get rid of them, and they don't seem to go away. I forgot the Y on they. Don't seem to go away. A couple of days ago, Janie and I had caught an ant crawling, more like trying to, in parentheses, into the cupboards above the closet.
Oh, I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah, it was weird. And then it fell.
Oh,
and
yeah!
Immediately, because we were like, what is
Look
that?
at it go.
Yeah, look at it go. And then it fell. And then we were like, screaming, horror.
Oh, those were the days.
And Janie and I backed away frantically. Then it burrowed into the carpet.
Oh, yeah.
Because we were going to kill it. And it burrowed into the carpet. Let that sink in. Now we have the fear that these ants are living underneath our feet.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that was the immediate conclusion. So we decided to rip the carpet up and put down wood flooring, which was good. Who's texting me? It was my email.
Oh.
Janie and I had to move everything out of our room, and we removed the carpet and put down the flooring. And by we, I mean my father.
Yeah. I'm just thinking like, oh yeah, we camped out in the TV room.
Yeah, we had our mattresses down there. All of our dressers were in the dining room.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, for a good while. And then we would just, we were living in the TV room, so we would watch Stranger Things in our mattresses, and everybody else had to sit on the couch.
Those are the days.
Yeah. Oh yeah, so we put down the flooring, but there were still ants. I remember that. There were still ants, and so we were going to bomb it, but they were just residual ants. We never did have to fog the room. Luckily, because I didn't want to have to do that. And then there's this big thing going around called the coronavirus.
May have heard of it before.
I was all like, everyone's freaking out about it. The place where we live and the rest of the world is going through a toilet paper shortage. It was the country, actually, because I guess maybe we didn't foresee in our emergency preparedness that we might need toilet paper. And I'm sure it wouldn't have been such a big problem in other countries where they have bidets. And I'm sure U.S. was regretting our decision of the use of toilet paper in that moment. Although I feel like, I don't know. Anyway, I could go on about this, but we're not going to. I was like, the coronavirus has been declared a world pandemic, which means that it's an epidemic spread all across the world. And I said, mass hysteria is also a world pandemic right now. And I said, I think everyone should stay calm, though. Because I am how old in this? I am 16, almost 16. In this, and I was smart. Okay. Janie's like, what?
No, I'm just like thinking. I'm all like, oh yeah, doing math.
And I was like, I just hope this all calms down so I can go see Green Day this summer. Wish the world luck, Lucy. Can you guess what the next entry says? Guess who's not going to see Green Yeah, so that
You misspelled quarantine.
okay, yeah, leave me alone. Anyway, we didn't go that summer, but it was the next summer, and it was the day after my 17th birthday. We did go, which is a whole other story. Let's find that one. Unless Janie, do you want to say anything, or we could just talk about this example, and it'll be the last one.
Okay.
Maybe we'll do a part 2 where we talk about more recent stories. But this was July 27th, 2021. Ginny and I were both here, so she can comment as well. I also have the set lists glued in here.
Yeah.
Green Days has the green hearts around it. Let's go ahead and just read them. You can Google it probably. But it says July 27th, 2021. It says, on July 23rd, I turned 17.
Exclamation point.
17. It was the day right after we got back from girls' camp, which is a youth church camp. Said, I went to Hot Topic that morning and bought myself an outfit to wear at the concert, which, this shirt is what I bought. I bought this shirt. It has Green Day when they were children. Little Beebs. It has Mike Dirnt, Trey Cool, and Billy Joe. And it says poop on it. Classic Green Day. Okay. The Green Day concert, I specifically said to wear to the concert, and then the Green Day concert. Okay. Later, when we were having dinner with my Aunt Aubrey and her family, she wondered what she was going to wear. Hold on, I'm going to sneeze.
Bless your heart and soul.
Thank you. When she found out about the purple plaid skirt I saw at Hot Topic, she wanted to go get it. And then Emma wanted a black and white plaid skirt, so we went on an adventure to the mall so we could buy punk rock clothes. Don't be mean to me, okay?
That was actually a fun trip though, because we got to ride in your car.
Yeah, my Honda Accord Cross
Yeah.
tour. We love that. We love the Honda. Okay. It will go down as a legend. Moment of silence. That one is in heaven. I don't have a picture of it on my wall. Okay. It says, Aubrey got the purple skirt and a Metallica t-shirt, who we did not see at that concert, but there's always Metallica t-shirts at Hot Topic. Emma got the black and white skirt and a Billie Eilish shirt. She really likes Billie Eilish. I mean, Billie Joe Armstrong, Billie Eilish, they spell Billie the same, even though Billie Joe's name is Billie Joe. Anyway, whatever. And Janie got a gray plaid skirt with suspendies, which is suspenders, I just said it weird, to wear with her Weezer shirt, who we did see, because
Yes.
Weezer is lit. Okay. Come at me, bro. Okay. I feel like everyone's just attacking me with my opinions. Anyway, and then my mom got a yellow plaid skirt to wear with her MXPX shirt. Shout out to everybody who knows who MXPX is.
Weird cat.
Left Coast Punk. Okay, anyway, we got studded bracelets, and I got zipper earrings. I still have them.
Zipper earrings.
Yeah, they're little zippies. I'm not wearing them, clearly. And we looked rocking awesome. You like that?
Yeah.
I drove Aubrey and Emma home in my car. I picked them up later in the morning, and we drove my Honda Accord Cross Tour to Arlington, Texas, which is like outside of Dallas area. As a matter of fact, during the show, I think all the bands said, "How are you guys doing today, Dallas?"
Oh, that's awkward. No, I'm just kidding.
Well, I mean, it's literally outside of Dallas. You drive through Dallas to get to Arlington,
I don't even remember, dog.
which is unfortunate because if you are like us, who'd never have to drive on highways like that, which I hear Dallas is better than Houston. We'll find out when we go in August to see Black Veil Brides in Houston. Okay. Anyway, we were staying at the Sheraton Hotel, 3 blocks away from the Globe Life Field Stadium, where the concert was taking place. We met up with my Uncle Mark and my Aunt Jackie in our hotel lobby and hung out with them until 5 p.m. when Aubrey, Emma, Janie, Mom,
Mom.
and I went back up to our room number 407 on the 4th floor. We are not there currently, so it doesn't matter, but it will go down in history. To put our bags in there, because, you can't take your bags. We didn't think we were going to be allowed to bring purses and stuff to the stadium, which we were right. Anyway, we checked out our makeup and the mirrors one last time, and then, ... the flippin' fire alarm went off. Okay, and I have trauma. Me has trauma with fire alarms. Fire bad. Fire alarms mean fire. Fire bad. So, at first we were confused. But then the intercom voice came on with the beeping as part of the alarm system and said, "There has been a report of an emergency. Please evacuate the building immediately," or calmly and immediately, something along those lines. Aubrey thought someone was smoking weed in their room and set the fire alarm off, which could very well have been the case. Okay. Says, "I didn't care at that moment as to why the alarm was going off." See, full panic mode activated. "I just didn't want the 19-story building to collapse on top of me in a fiery burning heap, if you know what I mean. I speedily got to the emergency stairwell, calling for Aubrey, Mom, and Emma and Janie to get over here. I raced down the stairs, and they seemed to go on forever. When the exit door was in sight, I slammed into it. You can tell I'm very calm in this moment of confusion and mild concern, and ran outside to see if the building was starting to smoke or something, and the building looked completely normal. Eventually, Mom, Aubrey, Janie, and Emma came dawdling out of the emergency exit. They were like, doo-doo-doo.
I was waiting on them. Also, by the way, nobody else was concerned. Anybody else leaving the building, they were just like, doo-doo-doo.
I know. I was like, they took the calm thing very seriously.
Mm-hmm.
There was a comic convention, a Comic-Con going on next door to the hotel. So it was a pretty fun group of people there. There were people in costumes, and then there were people with band t-shirts. It was cool. Anyway, but they did not care, and I cared very much. Anyway, the building was fine, right? And fire trucks did show up. We didn't stick around to see what that was about. And we started walking to the concert venue with Mark and Jackie, which is not true. I don't know. Yeah, they were there. Were they?
I don't even remember.
Anyway, if we waited, we would be late, and no one wants to miss a concert because the fire alarm went off unexpectedly at your hotel. Trust me. Oh yeah, they said we got to our seats through hordes of people, but I don't remember there being hordes.
No.
I don't really think.
Especially where we were sitting.
Yeah, no. I said at this point, oh, yes, because we can't forget about COVID-19. Anyway, the concert opened with this ska band called the Interrupters. Nobody was paying attention to them, which was unfortunate, so we didn't hear anything because everybody was talking. And then Weezer came on!
Yes!
Yeah. It was absolutely and totally fun. They kicked off with their song Hero and ended their set with Buddy Holly, as Weezer would. It was sad. I was sad when they left the stage. I really was. I remember feeling like, can they come back? They did not come back. It was almost as if I bonded with them. Oh, what the cheese! No. Anyway. Says Weezer was my mom and Janie's favorite. Weezer was my second favorite. You could tell what my first favorite was going to be. The Interrupters. I'm sorry, Interrupters. But it was not you. I was kidding. Anyway, Fall Out Boy came on next. And they had crazy pyrotechnics. And Pete Wentz bass. I'm a child. Bass shot fire. And at one point, the grand piano was on fire when Patrick Stump was playing it. And there were super loud fireworks and everything. And then Green Day came on, and they did everything I ever read about them doing at a concert. Like I said, I don't just listen to music when it comes to a band I really like. Again, I'm looking at the posters of a couple of my bands as I'm saying this. Anyway, they brought out the drunk bunny. Anyway, they had a kid come up and play guitar, And then we screamed the Aos, which my mom hated. She was like, this is so lame.
Because he stopped for like 10, 15, 30 minutes, I swear. In the middle of hitching a ride, he was all like, Aya, or whatever. And just like that bass line going over and over again. Which is fun, but not for 30 minutes.
It was not 30 minutes.
I don't like it.
It was maybe 10 minutes.
They were on the stage for like 2 hours, so it could.
They were, though, yeah. Maybe they just needed some filler time.
It was fun, though. It was fun.
They're like, we don't want to practice as many songs to fill up this time. No, I don't know anything. Anyway, and it was awesome. There were more fireworks. And Green Day ended the whole show with Good Riddance / Time of Your Life because he said he wanted to remember this night forever, which I'm sure he said to everybody.
But it was their first show.
But it was the first show since COVID, so we were special.
That's right.
It's true, we were special. We were special. Oh yeah, that's what it said right there. And I said afterwards, we walked back to the hotel, and guess what? It was not a charred heap of rubble.
It would have been inconvenient.
It would have been very inconvenient.
Because it was like midnight.
Yeah.
Like, where are we supposed to go?
It was perfectly fine. Turns out some kid pulled the fire alarm or something, because Aubrey actually called the lobby and asked, hey, what was that about? We left for a concert, but now we're back. Because everyone in the hotel was either there for the concert or for the Comic-Con, which is really cool. Anyway, it says, by the time we got back to our room, it was 12:27 a.m., and I didn't want to sleep because I was scared I wouldn't remember this night and all the amazing things that happened. But I woke up the next morning and I did remember. Not that I'd ever forget. Heart. Anyway, I have some pictures. So that's my Honda. No face for Janie.
Okay.
This is the Honda. It's my mother, my Aunt Aubrey. That was me, wearing the same shirt I'm wearing right now. There's Emma and Janie. Oh, things are falling out.
Hope they don't mind us showing your faces on the camera.
Whatever. There's some more family. There's us again. But yeah, that was a good time. Again, that fire alarm thing. I thought we were going to die. We did not die, which was good. I hope you didn't hate this episode. There was a lot of, there were some tangents, but that's okay. Just a few tangents. Janie's poetry. Miriam, what's your name again?
Meriwether.
Lewis. Meriwether Lewis.
Just remember my own name.
Yeah, and Meriwether Lewis has many journals.
I do.
8 years worth of nothing. Hopefully we'll come out with another episode. I want to mention we did try to have better audio setup and visual setup this time. Unfortunately, Janie's computer / laptop is outdated and will not support our thing we use. At least that's my theory.
It's not like it's a dinosaur. I got it like 2 years ago. Not even 2 years ago.
They purposely make them so they don't last very long, which is dumb. My dad had an Acer laptop that we had for like 10 years. And it only died because we physically broke it. I'm sure it was outdated. I don't think maybe we could have done certain things on it.
Right. Yeah.
But my friend Rebecca actually gave me the laptop we're recording on right now, and because she's awesome and loves me a lot. If she's watching this, I love you and thank you. So, that's it for today. Any last words?
No.
All right then.